Alright, what is up you guys? I'm James from James Reptiles, and today we're going to be talking about my Dalmation Crested Gecko group. Now here I have my 4 geckos that are currently in there, and they are still together. I did talk about in a couple videos that I plan on separating all my females and just rotating the male. I have no schedule on that. I don't plan on doing that right away. It'll probably take a while, because I have 2, 3... 4, 5, 6 females I want to do that with. So it'll be a minute. But first, I want to talk about the adults, and we'll go over some of the babies that just hatched. So this is the male. He has some nice spots. He's kind of a dark green with an orange dorsal. Then we have this girl, Paradise, who will be up for sale as a proven adult female breeder. She's laid some good eggs. Just not a lot of Dalmatian spots, and I have a baby I'm raising up that I want to replace her with. And though she's not close, if I'm going to separate them, I might as well sell this girl before I get the other one. So I'm going to put these two back. That way it's easy. That way it's easier to talk about these other two. So this girl is pretty dark, so it makes it hard to tell, but she does have a lot of spots on her. And she's big and girthy and lays some pretty good eggs. I can kind of tell some of the babies, like which mom they're from. This one for sure, when she has good eggs that hatch out, you can tell which ones are hers, because their base is like super yellow and they have a ton of spots. And she's got kind of like a little half tail. But these two moms are awesome. Once the other one gets up to size, it'll be a while before I really take this one and replace her, because they're just the ones I have are just producing such high spot animals that I wouldn't really want to replace them. So I'm gonna put these two back and we'll take a look at some babies. So like I said, I did separate all my babies out, and I have 4 from 2 different clutches that I really just want to highlight, and I don't know which one's in which tub, so I'm just gonna take them out and start showing you guys. And it's weird seeing them in their own tubs because they're all fired down when they're usually not. And you can definitely see the dad's influence on this one. Look at that. Look at how green and orange it will be when it fires up. And jumped on the camera. There's already some good spotting on the head and the sides, and you see a lot of spotting, I've noticed. And I've noticed you see a lot of spotting mainly either on the dorsal or on the base by the tail and the back legs. If they're gonna have spots, they most likely have a lot there. And so if we actually take a look at like the back of this gecko, you can see a lot of spots right there. And that one's gonna be really cool. That's one I'm gonna sell, and I'll talk about this. I'll probably get more into this in a minute, but I don't know if I want to grow them up or sell them. Yeah, I'll just talk about that in a minute. Let's see, this one is in the original enclosure, and again fired down. I've only ever seen them all fired up, so it's nice having them relaxed. This one, some oil spots up at the top, and some oil spots up at the top, and you can see that dorsal is almost like super full, which is kind of strange from this pairing. But definitely cool. Definitely some spots on there. But at this young, to have spots like that is just exciting, is what it is. Because then, you know, when they get bigger, they only grow into the spots. Let's see. This one. And I'm just really excited that all these babies are starting to have lots of spots. And seeing this makes me think, you know, I need to get Paradise out and get something else in there that has a lot of spots. Because if all these are producing nice spots and she's not, it's just such a waste. Now this little baby's cool too. Not too like, it's not crazy, but it's definitely cool. You can definitely see one side. There's always one side of Dalmatians that's just, you can see the spots way better. And absolutely, these babies are super jumpy. Just gorgeous. I like when they have spots like either on the eyelids or some kind of distinguishable spot. Like I have the one that has the cluster of spots just on the armpit. I don't know why. Those ones are just really cool, and they tend to sell really well actually, because for people who want them as a pet, they're excited by that one feature. It's very distinguishable, and people love that. Now this little guy, the best one. If I was gonna grow any of them up and keep it, it would be this one. Crazy pattern. I don't even know what's going on there. I don't know what you'd call that. But lots of large Dalmatian spots. Now, I've said this before, I don't really like Dalmatians with a lot of pattern, but if they've got crazy spots and I can breed them for a couple of years and make some with a lot of spots, and then, use that money to buy a patternless one, why not? Why breed ones that are quote unquote, why breed ones that have less spots? When I can breed ones with more spots, make a lot more money, and in turn just buy an adult with a lot of spots. Now, of course, if it ends up being a male, I probably don't need it because my male is pretty cool. But this brings me on to how do I decide between raising it up, keeping it, breeding it, or selling it. So usually when I have a group, usually when I come to this decision, I have a group. So I have the reds, I have this group of like 4 or 6 Dalmatians because I have 2 more hatching I'll show in a minute. So I take the group and I pick out my favorite. Obviously this is my favorite, and I will watch them for a little bit, and when the one I like the least is about 5 grams, I'll usually sell it. And I'll tend to just get rid of it. I don't post it for a big price. I try to just get it out. So I don't have to keep feeding it, because if I don't like it, I don't want to grow it up. I don't want to feed it. And then I'll take either the next one I don't like and I'll sell that one next. Or I'll keep the rest and kind of start raising them up. And when they hit about 8 to 10 grams, I will really... I'll decide. You kind of get like a feel of what's good and what's not good, and which ones are really going places. And if you have one that's eating well and one that's not, then you think about getting rid of the one that's not eating, even if it's the nice one. If it's not eating well, it's just not something I want to spend a lot of time on. And so let's say all that's good, all of them are eating great, and I have 2 or 3 left, and they're all about 10 grams. Then what I'll do is I'll wait until they're 15 grams, 15 to 18 grams, so I can really tell if it's a boy or a girl. And a lot of times I wait longer than that. I just hold on to females for some reason, and I try to sell them when they're more like 30, just so I can get more money for them. Because a gecko that's 15, it's a female, might sell for 100 or 150, depending on how cool it is. But if you got it to 15, you can really get it to 30 pretty easy with crickets. It does take time, but it's not another year. And you can fetch, 250, 300 for it, which I think would be worth it. You don't want to raise too many up. You don't want to just have a bunch of adults sitting around, because, especially males, then it's just almost like you're feeding them for nothing, because you're not going to be able to sell them all at the exact same time. Some are going to sit for a while. So that's why I try to dwindle it down to the best of the best. So when people are looking for adults, I can ask that high price and not feel bad about it, because they're nice adults. And I'll sell my males typically as soon as I know they're males. Or if I think I see pores, I'll sell it before anything else. And I will state that, obviously, you want to do good business in all senses. But I'll sell it first, and I tend to end up with majority female babies or juveniles, and then I can pick out like, oh, this one's better than anything in my project in terms of Dalmatian for these right reasons, and there's nothing super bad about it. The fringe isn't super short, the head's not super small, it's not too much pattern with too little dots, but it is more dots than mine has, and newer, which means more likely to not be thrown infertiles, because when girls get older, they do tend to start throwing infertiles. Now, there's a chance a first female will throw some infertiles or may not be infertile at all, but I think it's good to switch out every couple of years. This girl actually didn't drop her tail, but you kind of see her just barely. Her tail's just a little cockeyed at the base. I was grabbing her one time and she did not like it, and she started to drop her tail, and instead of taking it all the way off, I kind of left it on, and it healed up pretty nice. So with that, let's look at these other babies that are hatching. And I did show these in my last video, or the one anyway, because the other one hasn't hatched yet. So I have 2 that are supposed to hatch today, 2 more that are supposed to hatch in about a week, but the 2 that are going to hatch in a week look really bad. I'm going to leave them in just in case. Worst case scenario, I'll feed them to the isopods. This other egg is getting really big. Oh, it shit out. The one that's running around actually shit out, so that's cool. Oh. So this one's really cool. It's kind of orangey with a, I don't know what you call it, a tiger on the back, and some good Dalmatian spots. At this age, it's almost really hard to tell. But it's definitely some good Dalmatian spots, and really a dark tail, which is interesting. A lot of interesting color on there. So I'm going to put this one away later tonight, actually. I kind of want to give the other one time to hatch, just so, I don't know, just so they're together. I find that if you leave the one in there, the other one is more likely to hatch, because it kind of senses that movement, it feels that, and it actually tells reptiles, hey, it's time to start hatching, when they do sense that movement. So that is my update on my Dalmatian crested geckos and how I decide whether to keep or sell or breed or raise up my babies. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. All that definitely helps out the channel. Sorry, I apologize. It's way longer than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be like 4 minutes. But nonetheless, thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you tomorrow. Peace out.